A brief last Coir. I raised to speak in favour of the motion and the SDLP amendment, and can I commend the proposer on bringing this motion forward, and indeed as well the good work of the Fire Brigade Union, who do an excellent job today and always did in terms of keeping members of this House up to speed with the issues within the fire service. And can I indeed welcome the firefighters to the Assembly who are here with us today. We owe them an enormous gratitude. They provide a fantastic service. I couldn't do the job they do. I'm not sure if any member of this House could do what they do. They have seen their share of hell. As already been referred to, the many road traffic collisions, the fatal accidents, the many incidents where people have been injured beyond imagination. They have to deal with that. They have to take that at home at night. And the least we can do is provide them with the resources needed to ensure that they can save as many of those people's lives as possible. Because the fire service is a changing service, and we're not comparing like with like, and I'm always very critical of this notion that whatever happens in England, Scotland and Wales in terms of the equivalent services there, we just have to copy and paste it here. Quite clearly that should not be the case here. The Chair of the Health Committee has already referred to the fact that in terms of cooperation with the South, we do not have the same resources compared to other services in England, Scotland and Wales, who are surrounded with services of a similar capability. So we need to bear that in mind. Of course, the fire and rescue service sometimes, in my view, gets forgotten about lying within the Department of Health, because the Department of Health, as the name suggests, is primarily about health, about hospitals, about frontline services in terms of health. But I think that we need to remind the Minister that this is one of our most important services. It needs the resources, and he needs to look at these figures for what they are, because it's quite clear that in terms of road accidents, in terms of the demands on the fire and rescue service, they are increasing, and therefore they actually need more resources and not less. And of course the argument will always be put, there are different agencies, there are different government departments, we're all facing pressures in terms of the Tory cuts, but the fire and rescue service have been feeling the squeeze in each and every one of the last 5 years, and there comes a point where you have to say that you can't cut any deeper. There are services where there is always fat to be cut, but in terms of a service like this, you cut the service, it leads to increased times in terms of getting to that road traffic accident, in terms of getting to that fire where someone may lose their life. And in incidents like that, it comes down to seconds, it comes down to minutes, and the more resources they have, the better the chances that someone's life will be saved. And of course, in terms of rural areas, in my view, in terms of a rural representative, it's even more critical, it's even more important. I've been calling for nearly a decade for a new fire station in Ballycastle. I know my colleague Oliver McMullen has been doing the same in terms of Cushendall. So in areas like that there, in rural areas that are named in the briefing paper, they do not need to face any more cuts. And in terms of the overall health budget, as everyone will be well aware, health has over half of the entire budget in terms of the executive. So what the fire and rescue service are asking for is buttons in comparison with the entire budget. The budget for the fire and rescue service is small within the health budget, and therefore this is not a big ask. And in closing, a pre-last clear, this Assembly needs to send out...
Would the member give way?
I will.
Would the member agree with me, just in speaking about rural stations, that Strabane, which has been highlighted as a priority station, should be enhanced But also I want to take the opportunity of commending the Strabane Fire Services on the good work that they have done at the weekend, where there was a house fire in the Ballycoman estate area of Strabane, where a family narrowly escaped, obviously lost their lives, but lost a family pet in those circumstances. So given that Strabane has been identified as a high priority area, that consideration should be given to Strabane.
Member has an extra minute.
Thank you. I agree entirely with the member. You look at the towns here: Strabane, Dungannon, Downpatrick, Enniskillen, Portadown, Armagh, Nard's-Omagh, Carrickfergus, Antrim and Coleraine. All excellent services in their own right. But this Assembly has gone against ministers before. On a previous occasion, this Assembly made clear that the deal for local firefighters in terms of pensions was not good enough. Well, what we have on the table here in terms of a cut to the actual frontline service itself, that is not good enough. And I would urge members to support the motion, to support the SDLP amendment, and put the message loud and clear to the Minister that these cuts are not acceptable and they will have a direct impact on people's lives.